Blitzers, it's Ronan. Welcome back to the channel. Well, it's here. The Halloween event is here, and look at the Annihilator. Stupid name, great tank. We're gonna overview this thing quickly today and get to 2 replays that showcases its abilities. All right, I'll take a look at the armor on Blitz Hanger, but in terms of the overall tank, you can see that the view range is fine. DPM per minute 2512. I don't have the rammer on here, so it could be higher. Magazine reload is a respectable 14 seconds. This thing shoots like a machine gun. 0.33 interload clip. Magazine 3 shells. Obviously, it's like a Helsing on crack, Humpty. The average pen and pen numbers are fine. I think you can use the rammer on here. What am I saying? It's a reloader, so you will not. You don't want to use the vents. So you are going to get extra pen. 170, 220 is decent, and you can see it's got a 45 pen on the HE, which is going to be buffed a bit. That'll be nice. Make sure you see some HE on those tanks. Dispersion is what you'd expect, that is just the way it is. Note that the dispersion between the clip is not really there. That's a huge advantage versus the Helsing. Up 12 is a little low, but down 8 is fantastic. This thing has got a power to weight of 10.6. It'll be a little bit better with the engine, but it's still not going to be very fast. I have noticed the reverse speed is quick. It's 15. You'll see that in the replays. Top speed 35. Turret rate, turn rate 39. That is actually incredibly fast. The hull turn rate is a little slow, but with that turret rate, you're not getting COD'd by anybody. So let's take a quick look, very, very quick look at the armor of the Annihilator. And by the way, the view range, I should note, like is always the case, is just ridiculous. 288, that's the case they do for all of the Hybrid Nation tanks. And the hit points are actually really, really good. You can see there in terms of the rank. People have been saying the armor is shit on this tank. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. This is a tier 7, mind you. You're not going to hit anywhere really easily on the front there. There's a few spots there at the cheeks conceptually if you're straight on, but you're more likely to miss those. Not a lot of 235 millimeter pen. The upper plate is 162, but it really depends on your angle. The lower plate's pennable, of course, but if you keep this puppy hull down, I think you're gonna have not have too many problems, and I don't think a lot of people want to mess with you with this kind of DPM hull down. The sides have a little bit of spaced armor, as you can see there, but other than that, they're 82 millimeters, which is respectable, as is the side of the turret. Respectable meaning you're not gonna get HE'd in this tier. You could get HE'd by an ISU 152, obviously, but if you're showing your side, you've already lost the match. All right, let's jump into a couple of awesome replays and take a look at this tank further. All right, first replay is by Gent. Gentleman is driving the Annihilator in Hellas, and quickly take a look at this tank. Cool as fuck tank. Front-mounted turret, and you can see it has somewhat like an AMX 50B or the AMX type turret there, which limits its elevation for sure. Quickly, you see Gent taking a position there and getting some shots off, and there is the first of a few bounces you'll see in these games. This tank does bounce, and just watch those 3 shots go into the front of a Jackson's turret. That, of course, is not overly strong, but still. Gent takes a very strong position here, right near cap. He is the big tank here, the tier 7. So great position to take when you are the big dog on. Now Saint Emile, on the other hand, didn't know what the hell he was doing. Now Gent tried to shoot HE there at the side of the AMX. Whatever that thing is called, 5049, or it doesn't go in. However, I think that's a shot I would take. I think later on, Gent does not do it and gets all 3 in. I think that one thing you'll have to just be careful here is when you're shooting 3 shots, even though it is there is very minimal dispersion between shots, your turret still moves, and you still can potentially not get those to go all the way in. So once you guys this tank, you get the hang of it. There's an SPIC, SP1C, and it gets 807 for some reason. One of the shots didn't land. Watch the 15 kph reverse speed there. Gent had no issue getting into a reverse side scraping position there, and finishing off. The one thing about this, just like the Helsing, it's got a 3-shot. You often don't need all 3 shots, so the other 2 just kind of go out there. That's just one of those things you kind of have to learn how to play with. Like the Helsing, one of the things I love about this is when you are killing someone and you don't have to shoot them all, you barely have to aim because you kind of assume one of the 2 or 3 shots will miss. There is a full health AT-15A back there. That would be a good challenge for most tanks. Those are very heavily armored tanks. In fact, they are similar armor to the AT-15, which is a tier 8. And take a look at this with AP. You could hit this thing up. 611. It's a tricky tank to shoot because oftentimes you got to aim and it shoots you. It's got good DPM, all these things. Gent had absolutely no problem with it whatsoever. In fact, he chose to just take apart this T-29 to help his teammate, knowing that the alpha for that is not really anything to deal with, and then the smasher finishes it off. Terrific game by Gent of just mauling over the other team. 3190, 3 frags, 1105 base XP, which is an MC1. I think if you're going to master this thing, if you want to master and you have any hopes of wanting to master this thing, you need to probably do it very, very soon, as in immediately, or it's going to be tough. Second game is actually in our new game mode. Darth Bane here platooning with Arthur in Normandy, and Bane takes a strong middle position right away in this match. Bane playing very aggressive. Already you can see he's getting healed a little bit. This game mode is still what I'm trying to figure out, I have to admit. I'm not going to talk about it too much. Perhaps a topic for another video, but we're still talking about the Annihilator here. By the way, I hate the name Annihilator. It's really stupid. I wish they could have called it something better. It's kind of like the Smasher. It's just a stupid name, but whatever. All to their own, I suppose. Quickly, Bane's position here has paid off. He's been able to spot a bunch of tanks, and he's trying to get shots off on the Smasher. If you've ever shot a Smasher, you know that they have fantastic turrets. The fact that this tank can just pen through the front of it relatively easily is really promising. And I mean, there's a lot of people saying that this thing is more OP than the Smasher. That will have to be, TBD on that. I don't want to, that's not the point of this video. It's an overview. I would just say this thing is definitely very, very good. Maybe OP, maybe broken, all those things. So Bane here he's got, his health is dwindling down. He's trying to cap B. As you see, you get a bonus there for capping B, and your health points are a little bit less. There is this JGPZ, who is not the greatest of players. I don't know what he was doing back there. The guy lived a long time, so he figured out a hideout. But Bane is kind of holding up the middle of the team. It's an 11 versus 12, and you get double lives here. So Bane pokes 2 holes, actually ended up being 3 in the front of that tank. Gets a big hit from the Smasher, however, and he is down. He has bled everything, and this is a problem. So this is a great test right here. You get the front of a Smasher, 1, 2, 3, and a couple of them go in, one goes in, 2 didn't. So there was some dispersion in between there. I'm still not crystal clear on how dispersion will affect this after the counter shots overall. There may be some tricks to that I would recommend you play with to see what it takes to land all 3. With the Helsing, the biggest problem is oftentimes from a distance when you're sniping with it, you really never land the second shot. It's rare. This tank may suffer from some of the same problem, and you wait 15 seconds for an auto reload, you don't want to waste 2 of the shots. You want to make sure at least 2 of the 3 go in. There is some help to Arthur. Bane gives him a bunch of health. Arthur with the aggressive push right down the middle there. Had they stayed back, they probably could have farmed these guys a little bit, but hard to fault pushing in this mode. There is a Leo pushing out. Bane, notice there, barely aimed, just move the turret around, and that's going to be the key to me. If you were moving your turret around while shooting, you will shoot the shell at different spots. And it's not really an additional dispersion, it's literally where your turret is when you shoot. It is 0.33 seconds, so if you're just wildly swinging your turret, that one worked for Bane and actually got that final shot in. All right, now we are facing, it's a 5-on-4 in terms of points right now for Bane. But he is extremely low on hit points. In fact, it's a freaking miracle that he's still alive. And they are pushing there. He does have 2 lives in this situation, so that's actually helping the other, when you do get additional alpha or something when in the second life. And so that is hurting him because most of those folks he's facing, or all of them, are in the second life. There is right there a Vindicator. The Bane is actually able to get a couple of shots through its spaced armor up front. Vindicator's a piece of shit. I don't even know why that tank exists. Anyway, I digress. So Bane is trying to get in a smart position. He's actually 2-on-3 in terms of tanks. However, he's trying to get shots onto the side of the Vindicator, and he does, and he clears them with 480 alpha. There comes a Leo. That Leo is full health, and Bane, as you can tell, is very much not. Bane is a 1-on. It's really a tie because Bane could still die, and he'd come back full health. But a smart move here by Bane is let's see if we can finish this with 1 life. So what does he do? He just hammers this Leo, annihilates him, breaks his track, breaks his will. This guy doesn't know what to do. I don't know how the hell he ended up on 1 hit point. This is probably a fact of the draining hit points, and you got to be very careful. You're about to get a ram clutch bounce off the turret. He preserves his 1 hit point there. Again, he still has another life, so Bane was probably not too concerned here. But he's going to go get this done. He's already at 5689 damage, 1160 blocked. Terrific game. Some smack talk from Arthur. If you played with Arthur, you know he likes to say a word or two. And this is that same JGPZ that Bane poked some holes in earlier. Bane walks up, -7 gun depression. You don't really need to aim on those, just hammer it down. And Bane gets a huge game and a big carry as well, and made 136,000 credits, 5690. Massive outing there. So terrific tank. No question should you get this tank. You must get this tank. I know some people are frustrated with a $10 price tag for this event, but listen, I mean, how much would you pay for a Helsing, a Drac, or a Smasher? $10 is a bargain. I'd say go get this tank. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel.